Dynamic text is officially here in Photoshop 2026, and now anything you type will become professionally formatted with a click of a button. So here we are in Photoshop 2026, we're ready to make our basketball poster. So we're gonna start by going to our type tool. Now I'm gonna click and drag across my image. It's just gonna place some dummy text in there. The first step is I'm gonna hit Control or Command V, or you can simply just type if you want to. I have Basketball Camp 2026. Now we wanna convert this to dynamic text. We can do that right over here in our contextual taskbar. Click on our dynamic text option and we have 4 different shapes. So the first shape is our block text. This is really nice. Basically, as I reformat the block, it's going to change the formatting of my text to fit inside of the block. Now, this is kind of like the most common useful format, but we do have new shapes. The circle, the arch, and the bow are brand new to Photoshop 2026. So if I click here on the circle, we can see that it just basically puts all my text into a circle. Very nice. The arch is going to do the same thing with an arch, and then we have a bow on the bottom. Now, all of these do have options. So let's go ahead and start off with our circle and check out the options. With the circle, if you move into your properties panel, you're going to see we have a dynamic text option. Again, I can choose my dynamic text shapes here, and I can also choose whether the text is above, it's going to be centered, or below the path. So let's go ahead and show you each of these. It's going to kind of push it below the path, center, and then back above. And I can change the text direction as well, which is helpful. Now, I can also hover over top of the text and click. Once I click, you can see I have a moving text cursor. Now, there are a few different icons here in this text box that you can manipulate. We're going to show you how to use them. So to start off, we have a little X and an O. The X is going to be the beginning point of our text, and the O is going to be the end point. And then right over here on the opposite side, you're going to have a diamond. The diamond is going to be the center point. So here's how you use them. Hold Control or Command, and your cursor is going to turn into either a white or a black arrow, okay? Control or Command, we want a white or a black arrow. Now I'm gonna go ahead and click here, and then it's going to allow me to adjust my text around the center. If I pull in towards the center, by the way, it's gonna pull my text inwards. If I push outwards, it's gonna pull my text outwards. There we go. Now, once I've gone ahead and moved that, so that was by clicking right near the diamond. If I click near the X or the O, I can change the start point or the end point of the text. Now, I do want to say it can be relatively difficult to actually select these icons. You're going to hold, I recommend just zooming way in, hold Control or Command and see if you can grab that little icon and move it around. See, what happens a lot of the time is if you grab that icon and try to move it around, it actually thinks you want to grab this icon. So they're actually kind of difficult to grab, if I'm being totally honest. Let's see about grabbing that another time. Okay, I was able to get it this time. So now you can see I'm able to move my text. There we go. And we're going to be able to basically change the start point, and I can change the end point as well. Once you are actually able to separate the start point and end point, it tends to work relatively easily, but grabbing these like in the first place is relatively difficult, if I'm being honest. I wish they just made this a little bit easier. I'm sure they're going to work on it in the future because it's pretty helpful to be able to move the start point and end point around the circle, but it keeps wanting to default to this point. So that point is basically allowing you to move all of your text around the circle, but it is helpful to be able to move your start point and end point. Keep in mind, if you're just having some trouble grabbing it, that's just kind of how it's designed right now. It just needs a little bit of an improvement, but the option is there. It's just a little bit of a UI difficulty at this point. Okay, now we have options for our arch. So let's go ahead and click on the arch, and basically the same exact option exists within the arch. I'm gonna go ahead and click here on my type, and then I'm gonna hold Control or Command and grab the outermost point, and then click and drag and pull this in. So we can see as I pull in over top, we're going to go ahead and move our endpoint. And if I pull this towards the center, it's going to pull in my basketball letter inside of my arch. So it's inside. If I click and drag out, it's now going to be outside. So I think the UI is pretty good. I wish they had like a start point and end point slider right here. Honestly, I think that would be a lot more useful. Hopefully that's coming in the future, but you can change the start point and end point. Again, you just have to hold Control or Command and click and drag. If you go towards the inside, it's going to pull your text in. Outside, it's going to pull your text out. Okay, now if you don't want to do that, great, because that's kind of like the hardest part of all this. Now, what we're gonna do is go ahead and format this to fit our image. So I'm gonna get rid of this 2026. You can see this text is fully editable. And at this point, I'm ready to go. Basketball camp in an arch, this is what I want for my design. So I'm gonna grab my move tool here. With the move tool selected, let's hit Controller Command T for transform, and I'm just gonna transform this as an entire object. There we go, and kind of put it about where I want it to. Now, in this case, I want it to be directly centered in my image. So let's just pretend it's pretty off-centered. To center this across my entire photograph, you're gonna use selections. So we'll go to select and then down to all, selecting our entire image. Now, with our move tool selected, we're gonna go ahead and click on this icon. It's gonna align horizontal center. So let's go ahead and click there, and it's going to line it perfectly within my selection, which is my entire image. All right, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and hit deselect. So this looks pretty good. We have dynamic text now. We can see, and again, at any point in time, I could change the text shape if I wanted, but I do want it to be in the arch. I have one more thing that I wanna do to make this a little bit more interesting. Okay, I'm gonna actually duplicate this really quickly. We're gonna hit Controller Command J. So on the first layer, what we're gonna do, let's make that invisible. The second layer, we're gonna go ahead and double click right here in the gray area. Double click on the gray area, it's gonna bring our layer style. Now with this layer style selected, the first thing I'm gonna do is take my fill opacity and we're gonna bring this down just a little bit. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit more in a second, but I'm bringing the fill opacity down so I can add a stroke. So let's go ahead and click here where it says stroke. There we go. And you're gonna see I added a white stroke, and now we're ready to bring our fill opacity. There we go. Let's go ahead back to our blending options. We're gonna bring the fill opacity all the way down to 0. Fantastic. So now let's hit OK. We have two different layers. This layer, basically the fill, and you can see fill is available right here as well in your layers panel. The fill is at 0, but I do have a stroke on it, okay? And then this other layer is just a regular layer with white text. So what I wanna do, my goal is to have this layer be visible over top of my subjects, and then this layer is gonna be visible under my subjects. And I wanna be able to move them around together. It's a really cool effect. So to start with, we want this layer over top of our subjects. So let's go ahead and make that invisible. We're gonna go to our background layer first and go here to select subject. Okay, our background layer, and we're gonna go to select subject, which is gonna use AI to automatically make a selection of our subjects. You can see it did a great job. And now we're gonna go to this basketball copy. I want, again, this layer I want to be visible above our subjects. So we're gonna go ahead and click on the layer mask icon, and you're gonna see it's now visible above our subjects. But there's one more thing. Let's go ahead and see this layer, by the way. We have a layer linked to the layer mask. If I unlink these, now I can move the layer and the layer mask stays in the same place. But you can see how my stroke is basically trying to, like, it's getting messed up by my layer mask, right? Like the stroke itself is being affected by the layer mask. Here where the layer mask is very nice and clean, you don't really notice it, but over top of the hair, it's kind of getting a little bit messy, okay? So what we need to do is double click on this layer itself. There we go. And then there's an option right over here, layer mask hides effects. So let's go ahead and turn that on. And now you can see my stroke doesn't try to take into account the layer mask itself. It makes the effect look a lot more realistic. And now I can kind of move this around and we don't have that option, okay? Again, I just want to like double check to show you that layer mask hides effects. That's a really important option. If I turn that off, you're gonna see, you know, we have this like stroke that tries to, you know, incorporate the layer mask. If I turn it back on, then it's gonna work a lot better. So let's go ahead and hit OK. So now we basically have this text, it's visible over top of our subjects, but we're missing the rest of the text. So what we're gonna do is make this layer invisible for temporarily. Now our basketball camp, we want this to now be behind our subjects. So we're gonna go through the same exact steps. We're gonna go to the background layer. Let's go to select subject. There we go, just like we did before. Okay, subject is selected. And now we want to use a layer mask on this layer, but we actually want the opposite layer mask that's on this layer. So there's a couple ways to do that. You can actually hold Alt or Option and click on your layer mask icon. That'll make a reverse layer mask. So Alt or Option, click on your layer mask icon, and now you can see this is exactly what we want, right? Our subjects are now in front of that text. If you forget Alt or Option, don't worry about it. You still have your selection. You can create a layer mask at any time, and then you can just invert your layer mask. You can hit Control or Command I to invert your layer mask, okay? Or you can go to your contextual taskbar and go down to Invert Mask. Okay, so don't worry if you don't remember the keyboard shortcut, but if you know you want to invert your mask, holding Alt or Option when you click on the mask is just a way to save time. Okay, so now we have some text behind our subjects, and I have some text in front of our subjects with that stroke. Now, here's the cool thing. I have my layer and my layer mask. I want to show you one more thing, by the way. Right now, my layer and my layer mask are chain linked. So if I move one, the other moves with it, and it kind of destroys my effect. So I'm going to hit undo. We're going to click on this little chain link, and this is going to unlink my layer from my layer mask. Now I can move my layer and my mask stays in the same place, which continues my effect of the text being behind our subjects. What we want to do is bring this other layer visible as well, but now we have one more thing to think about, okay? If I take this layer and I move this layer, well, that also destroys our effects because then I have to move this layer to try to like find it and match it and put it in the same place. So what I need to do is basically link these two layers together so that if I move one of the layers, the other layer is going to move as well. So to do that, hold Control or Command and click on both of the layers. Make sure both layers are selected. Then you're going to use this icon right down here to link the layers together. Go ahead and click there. Now you can see I have a link icon here on both of my layers. And now if I move one of the layers, the other one will move as well. By the way, I do want to mention, if you click on the layer and you have a white bounding box around the mask, it's going to move the mask, okay? You don't really want that. You want to make sure you're selected on the layer, you have a white bounding box around your layer, and then you can move the layer. So now everything is complete. We're ready to see our final effect. I have two different layers. One's behind our subjects, one is in front of our subjects, and they're linked together. So if I click on the layer itself with a white bounding box around the layer, I can move this layer and both of the layers now move at the same time. So no matter where I put this, basically the stroke text is going to be in front of my subjects, and then the regular text is going to be behind my subjects. How cool is this? I absolutely love this effect. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and zoom in here, and I would just want to point out a couple of things. You can see the stroke here. Let's go ahead and put this right down here so you can see. The stroke of like the C, for instance, is on the outside, so it doesn't line up perfectly. That's not that big of a deal. Here where it says stroke, I can double click on that stroke itself, and then I have a couple different positions for the stroke. So I could put it on the outside, I could put this on the inside, or I could put this on the center. Okay, and as we can see, the inside option works the best. It looks like it completely continues, and of course I can change the size of that stroke as well. I think this looks really good. Now, I do want to mention, I know it's a little bit complex here. This is a very cool effect, and if you want to download this PSD, it's totally free. Just click on the link right down below. You can download it to your computer, and you can manipulate this and simply move it around and see exactly how we made this. So we're going to go ahead and zoom out, and we can see now, again, if I move any one of these layers, the other layer is going to move as well. And here we go. Let's hit Control or Command A. Let's go ahead and center this and then bring it down so we have this effect affecting both of our subjects. Now the last thing I want to do is just move this a little bit lower. So we're going to go ahead and click on our layer. Keep in mind they're both linked together. So as I move this lower, they're both going to link and move at the same time. I think this looks really great. Now I want the letter to kind of be centered between our subjects, and I'm just going to put a little bit more space on the left side of our photograph. So let's hit C for that crop tool. Go ahead and click and drag out so our text can be centered. And then we just click on Generative Expand and click on Generate. This is going to give us a few more options and give us a little bit more space on the left-hand side of our photograph so our text can be centered within our image as well as centered within our subjects. Here we go. Let's choose our variations, and this looks fantastic. Let's go ahead and show you this image final full screen. And that's everything we need to know about dynamic text. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. Go ahead and give us that thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. And if you want to get more free tutorials, simply click on subscribe. Thanks again, and I'll Phlearn you later. Bye everyone.